outdoor adventure and Billy, and we've been out all day really, doing a bit of fishing and a bit of all sorts of stuff. But starting to get dark now, and the weather's turned for the worst. It's absolutely blowing a hoolie, and it's been a wee bit wet as well, but we're not bad, We've got a bit of shelter behind this dry stone wall here. Fantastic dry stone walls. So, just a quick vid. I'm setting off on a bit of a 24-hour survival thing in a couple of weeks, and this vid will be coming out the morning that I finish the survival thing. So you'll have to catch up and see how I've got on. But the thing is, it's 24 hours, 5 items, and 5 items only. And there's a million and one of these 5 items that there could be, couldn't there? But I've had to choose 5 items to last 24 hours. And I know it's dead simple really, it's only 24 hours. I could go out in the woods like I am now with nothing and manage 24 hours. But we've got a location that's relatively, not a high altitude, but we're up in the mountains, so a higher altitude than where I am now. And it's going to get cold, I've no doubt about it. It's a couple of weeks off yet, but this vid will be coming out, as I say, the morning of the day after, if you will. So, like I say, we're going to be relatively high altitude, it's going to be cold, but it's only 24 hours. Realistically, I can survive without food and water for 24 hours, can't I? But I am going to put them into this because it'd be rude not to, wouldn't it? And we need a little bit of, it's just part of it, isn't it? It's part of living outside. But I could easily go outside, like I said, just hunker down somewhere like this and get through the night. But anyone can do that, can't they? Anyone can be miserable and cold and wet and uncomfortable and just last the night, yet with just an hour's sleep or even less than that, stay up all night till the light comes. But we're going to try and smooth it as best we can, but with just 5 items. So I wanted to just go through my 5 items prior to this trip, and then you can see how I get on with these 5 items and see what I do. But I'm not going to go mad. It would be easy to think outside the box. I mean, we could do one of these a month really and think outside the box and come up with all sorts and do loads of crazy things, but I'm going to keep it real simple for this one. Joining me on this trip is going to be 2 other YouTubers. One I've done a couple of trips with before in the past, yeah, only a couple, and probably a good over a year ago since the last one, maybe 18 months, I don't know, a good while. And the other one I've never met before. So as far as meetups concerned, we're going to be sort of solo really. We're going to meet up at the start and we're going to look at each other's kit and our 5 items, which we're going to keep secret till the day, and then we're going to disappear onto the mountainside, into the forest, rivers, whatever, spend the night with our 5 items, and then we're going to come back to base the morning after and we're going to discuss how we got on with these 5 items. So it's something different, isn't it? It's a bit of a change. So for my 5 items, I'm going to basically try and cover the 6 seas, or maybe not, maybe 5 seas, yeah, as best I can. I mean, clothes are going to be extra, so I'll be layered up, I'll have plenty of layers on, but my 5 seas, or my 6 seas, or whatever, cover. For me, like I say, we can do the night without food and drink if I needed to. It's only 24 hours, but I could get very, very cold and be very, very uncomfortable. Like I say, I want to smooth it a little bit. So for me, cover is going to be a key. That's going to be key to my shelter and Billy's shelter as well, because Billy will be coming with me, but I will be prioritising Billy over me. I'll be making sure he's warm. So, cover. So for me, cover for me on this trip, I could take a tent. That could be one item. Putting straight away a tent, you know, and I've got a full cover. But how am I going to keep warm in a tent without a sleeping bag or anything like that? So I'll have my clothes on me, but for cover, I'm going to go for a torch. But for me, it's probably going to be my old basher, my old DPM or my torch. Yeah, it's not a massive one, 3x2.5, but it's not as big as the DD ones. I love my DD torch, the Coyote Brown DD torch is fantastic, but this is a little bit tougher. So I'm probably going to take this. With this being a bit tougher, I can use it. I could use my DD one, but I don't want to knacker it. I could use it to drag material about, to load it up with material if I'm making any bedding or anything like that. Firewood, I can use this to drag that sort of stuff around. It's going to be a tougher type of shelter than me. It's one that I don't mind getting a little bit. If I get a couple of burns in this one, I'm not too bothered. It's my old school bastion. But so I'm probably going to take that, but you never know. If the forecast is for torrential rain non-stop, I know that my newer one does a better job than this. This one leaks a bit, but if I've got showers and I've just got inclement weather, I'm probably going to go with this one. So that's going to be my torch. A tent, like I said, I could do a tent, but I can't have a fire in a tent, can I really? You know, I could take other tents where I can possibly build one near it, some canvas type, etc. But you can't beat a torch for cover. Yeah, your standard sort of formations where I can feel the heat coming in, because we're going to need a fire for the night. So speaking of fire, dead simple. One of my 5Cs, yeah, combustion, my ferro rod. So dead simple, I'm going to take my ferro rod. I could take a lighter, which would be a fantastic option. It's only 24 hours. I'm not bothered about gas running out, long-term survival. This is ideal for long-term survival. A lighter, fantastic, found a fire quick, boom. I've got a naked flame there, boom, straight away. So I could take a lighter, which would be a great option. But I like my ferro rod. It's probably going to be my ferro rod. But no guarantee. There is time to change my mind yet. But it'll probably be my ferro rod. If it's not my ferro rod, it'll be a big lighter. Yeah. If the weather's really bad and wet, I know potentially my big lighter might be slightly better. Yeah, for lighting something new. But we've done it enough. We know where to find dry tinder and how to process tinder, don't we? So probably my ferro rod. Now my next thing. So I've covered me. I've got my cover, which is my shelter building stuff. We're not allowed cordage. That would be another item, unless I'm bringing it. So my first item is my cover, my shelter. My second item is my combustion, my ferro rod, or my big lighter. That's 2 items down. So my third item, I'm gonna, like I say, I'm gonna need a fire. I'm definitely gonna need a fire, 100% for multiple uses. I'm gonna need a fire. If I'm gonna have to drink, I'm gonna need a fire to make water safe. Yeah, a hot drink's gonna be fantastic, but the biggest priority is making that water safe. So I'm gonna need a fire. Also warmth as well. I'm not gonna have a sleeping bag. I'm not gonna have a wool blanket. All I'm gonna have is the clothing on me, yeah, and my shelter. So I'm gonna need a fire. And a fire needs fuel, so I'm going to have to process quite a bit of fuel, and that fire is going to have to last all night long. So my options are my axe, yeah. I love my Hultifer's forest axe, which, now this could be a very good option, because I'm going to need that fire all night long, yeah, so I'm going to burn a bit of wood all night, aren't I? Possibly making a long fire, a 6-foot long fire, possibly. So that is going to have to process some quite big lengths of wood. So, to me at the minute, I'm favouritising my axe. But if I've got to process sticks down, I've got to make feather sticks, everything else, I can do it with this. But depending on the weather, they're not quite as fine, they're not quite as nice to take a spark as a knife. But the amount of wood I'm going to have to process and to build a shelter, I'm thinking the axe could come in handy this time of year. So the axe is probably going to be my cutting tool. Yeah. So this can process my food, can process my tinder, can process my main fuel, can process my shelter building material. So it's probably going to be the axe. But again, still got me my good knife as an option. Yeah, and I can still do a lot with this. It just means my techniques will have to change whether I take my axe or my knife. Another good thing about this is it throws good spikes off my ferro rod. If I'm taking my axe, I'd have to take a different ferro rod than that one. I'd have to take a ferro rod with a striker, unless I'm going to pull it across the blade, because that axe, the pommel and everything else is slightly rounded, the edges are not as square as you need to use with a ferro rod. But I could use the edge of the blade, yeah, which wouldn't do it too much harm. And end of the day, we're looking at, it's a bit of a survival type situation in it. So I could use that. So it's either the axe or the knife, and I'm not 100% decided on that. Yeah, but the axe this time of year, like I say, it's going to be cold. There's no doubt. I want to be warm during night. I don't want to be cold and just drag myself through night. And you've got to remember, I've got Billy Dog with me, so I'm responsible for him. So I've got to look after him. So the axe is looking like a pretty good option. So that's for shelter, that's for fire, and that's for cutting tools. 3 of my 6 C's or 5 C's for this occasion. So what else do I need? Well, I don't have to, I can survive 24 hours without water, but yeah, I'm going to want to water through, and why not? Yeah, so we'll use this as an exercise. We're going to filter some water, we're going to make water safe. So ideally, I need a container. Yeah, I need a container to collect my water, I need a container to boil my water, I need a container to save my water, and I need a container to use to drink, etc, etc. So I'm probably just going to go with the 12cm zebra tip. Fantastic bit of kit. I've got a few other bits of kit. I've got the Pathfinder mug and bottle set, etc, which I use a lot. But for this occasion, I think I'm going to use the 12cm. I could take the 16cm, which would mean I could gather a good amount of water in one hit and boil a good amount of water together. But I think the 12cm is going to do the job. It's going to boil quicker than the 16cm. It's also going to cool down quicker than the 16cm for drinking wise. It's not that, I mean, I'm not in a hot, humid environment where I'm going to be perspiring a lot and I need to be drinking all the time. I'm going to be in a cold, wet, damp UK environment. So that's not too critical that it cools down fast. And I've got a bit of an asbestos gob anyway with all the, as well as asbestos fingers for problem with fires and drinking off roofs. But yeah, the 12cm zebra pot is going to do the job, I think, for me on this trip. So that's definitely coming with me. So that's my container for me cooking, etc. Other containers wise, I'm not going to bring any other containers, so I'm not going to have a rucksack or a side pack, a bag, a satchel or anything like that, because that would be one item. So I'm up to 4 items. I've got my axe or my knife, I've got my ferro rod or a lighter, I've got my torch, yeah, and I've got my container for it. So I've got one more item left. Like I say, I'm taking Billy with me. So this last item, we could easily survive 24 hours without any food, can't we? We know we can. But I'm going to take a little bit of food for us, yeah? I could take a sleeping bag, etc, etc, but no. I'm going to take a little bit of food. We're going to try and rough it, we're going to try and smooth the night out as best we can without getting cold, using our skills, etc. But I'm going to take a bit of food, so I'll have a small bag like this with a bit of food in it, and it's going to be one item of food. So I'm not taking some potatoes and some carrots and a tin of corned beef, and I'm not making a big stew or anything like that. It's going to be one item. I'm not 100% decided yet, you'll have to watch the film. But it could be a big steak. No doubt Billy would enjoy a big steak, yeah? It could be just some flour. Right, I'm just going to bake bread and I'm going to make batter to second during the night. I'm not 100% sure. But that last item is going to be food for sure. Preparation is going to be key, especially if it's been chucking it down like it has been lately and everything's soaking wet through. So that's another reason why I'm thinking maybe the knife, so I can get these finer curls. Even in a wet environment like it has been, with fine curls and splitting down my wood, I've got a chance. But even like now, even with these fine curls, you can see because of the dampness in the air, it's taking a few strikes. A surprisingly few strikes. So this is making me think again about using my knife. But then again, like we were saying, we've got to think about that firewood and the shelter. So yeah, they're my items I'm thinking at the minute. I mean, cutting tools again, something like a machete or a parang would probably be really good. But I've not got a lot of kit. But the kit that I have, I use a lot. And I'm quite competent at using it. So I'm pretty happy with my choices. Now by now, we'll have finished the challenge. So this time next week, it'd be great if you could join me and see how we got on. Anyway, Rick T, Outdoor Adventure, a little Billy dog down here. It's getting pretty dark now and the rain's coming down again, so we're going to move on and find a bit of better shelter. But anyway, great to see you as always. Look after yourselves. We'll see you again real soon. See you later. Ta-ra.